Turo's cool because they have their own insurance and.
Dude, I had a car stolen on Turo. And
wait, really?
Yeah, that I rented out as a little. So get this. So
wait, did you rent the car or was your car?
It was my car that I bought strictly for the purpose of renting it.
And
so
it got stolen.
Dude, it's kind of a crazy story. So 2020. Everything's shut down. I'm bored, right? But I know that rental cars, there's a massive shortage because they're not getting new cars. So I'm like, Turo's a pretty good business model. I see it all the time. I know some people that make good money with it. I'm going to buy a car. I'm going to find a good deal on a police car. And I'm going to rent it out on Turo because they're cheap, but they're like, you can get an Explorer, which would be $40,000, $30,000 around this time for a newer one, or you can get a lightly used one with like 50,000 miles for like 14,000. So, and then do a little work to it, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm like, fuck it. I flew out. Bless you. I flew out to this little town called Redwood Falls, Minnesota. Mm-hmm. I flew into St. Paul, I think, and then the dealership picked me up. Cool little small Midwestern town. Picked me up, took me to their little town, bought the car, and I drove it all the way to Oregon, then all the way down back to San Diego. Rented out on Turo, and this thing was going, always booked. And I was making like $100 a day for a rental, which on a car that I just paid, I think $13,500 for.
Yeah, that's great.
Great deal. That's with the warranty and everything, right? Mm-hmm. So, and it was awesome. It was literally a black on black old, not even old. It was like a 20. You remember? Were you around for that? No, Don was, because Don was supposed to go with me on that trip.
Just a few years old.
Yeah, and it's nice, but it looks enough like a police car because it has the wheels and the lights and stuff still, but it's enough of like an SUV. We took it on a couple road trips and it was great. But anyways, so one day I rented out to this guy and he's like, oh, we're going to be down in National City in Chula Vista, whatever. And then the next day, the day before he was supposed to bring it back, he extends the rental. He's like, hey, do you mind if I keep it another day? Cool, take it. Yeah. Just do it through the app, whatever. So he's like, cool. So he extends the rental. And then the next day, same thing. And then one more day, same thing. So I'm like, it's a little weird, but I do that. When I travel, I'll get a rental for a couple days and then extend, whatever. So I didn't really think much of it. And then the day that we're supposed to pick up the car, he texts me and he's like, hey, I'll be there in, 30 minutes. And then he texts me again, like 10 minutes later. He's like, hey, the car got stolen. What do you mean the car got stolen? So I called him. He's like, yeah, I don't know. I went out there and the car's not there. I'm like, okay, well, where'd you park it? He's like, I parked it in this parking lot of this apartment complex. I'm like, okay, so you think it's stolen? He's like, yeah. I'm like, you don't think that maybe it got towed? He's like, I didn't really think of that, but no, I bet it got stolen. So something's just like not adding up, right? So I'm like, all right. And then I drive down to where he was, and I just asked him for the address, didn't tell him I was going, and drove around and got out and looked. There was some broken glass in the area where he said he parked it, but his story wasn't adding up. And usually when somebody's story isn't adding up, something's off. They're probably lying. So I just knew something was up. And so I, whatever, nothing I can do. Call the insurance through Turo, and they're like, okay, cool, we're going to open up a claim. And they're like, what do you think happened with the car? I'm like, well, we're super close to Tijuana. It's a police car. It's 4-wheel drive. I bet it's in Mexico. Like, that's pretty common here, you know. And they're like, oh, well, I bet we'll find the car within 30 days. I'm like, okay, good luck. But, these were Mexican guys and they were with their family. And, something just felt off about it. Yeah. And the kid that rented it was super nice. But some of the people that were with him, it was just like two different groups. Yeah. And I could be wrong, but I think they probably rented it with the intention to take it to TJ because... So I get paid out, right? Like 45 days later, they pay me out. I make like $6,000 on the car. They paid me out because the car went up in value because of COVID. Yeah. So they pay me out. I'm happy. And then a couple months later, we get a call from California Highway Patrol. And they're like, hey, we have your vehicle. And I had signed the title over to the insurance. Like, it was no longer my car. Right. But apparently they never registered anything with the DMV. They never did anything. So I get a call from CHP, and they're like, hey, we have your car. It's in, like, San Ysidro or somewhere. We found your car. Come get it. And they're being super short with me. I'm like, well, it's not my car anymore. I, explain. They're like, you have to come get it. It's registered to you. You need to come get it. Like, I'm not coming getting that car because I got paid out. I don't want to come get it and then, I already got paid. I'm not trying to get greedy here. Like, that's not my car anymore, so good luck. Mm-hmm. But they found it in Mexico. And apparently, they found it in Tijuana and then brought it back over.
That's interesting. They found it and brought it back.
I know. That's why I was confused, because I was like, oh, CHP, so you guys found it here. And they're like, no, it looks like it was found in Tijuana, and now they brought it over here. So
interesting.
Hey, thanks for watching this clip. If you like content like this, go to the description below. The full video should be there. And do not forget to like and subscribe. 97% of the people that watch this channel are unsubscribed, so please hit that subscribe button. It does a lot for the channel, and it gives you more content like this. Have a good one.